What's up, guys? This is Tori Speedy. This will be episode 10 of Tapped In with Tor. It's Sunday, and when I launch this, it's going to be Monday. Every Monday. I missed last week, sorry guys. But on this podcast, I just talk a lot about mindset, developing habits, things, how to cultivate a growth mindset, how to reframe your thoughts and take back control of your life, how to build confidence, how to set those intentions and be intentional about everything that you do. All of those very high value things that you can add to your routine, and if you're doing them consistently, they're going to change your life. I know this because I'm a walking testament to the stuff that I talk about on this podcast. 100%. I apply every single thing that I preach to my life. I used to be someone that struggled with balance. I still do. I've just learned that the people that you tell no to, especially in these times where you're stretched out, you're at your maximum capacity, whether that's mental or whether that's emotion, whatever it is, the people that love you and that care about you and that you want in your life are going to be the ones that are like, hey girl, no, it's fine. Today I was supposed to go to a tea party and I texted my girlfriend and she just said, girl, I know that you're out there, like, you're navigating a lot of change, you're making money, you're doing the damn thing, I'm so proud of you, I'll see you this weekend, don't even worry about it. And it literally kind of brought me to tears because I'm really grateful for just the few people I have in my life. Thank you for the encouragement. And so that's what I'm learning to do. I have stronger boundaries, and I've realized that are meant to be in your life in these chapters of growth. They're the ones that genuinely support you. Kind of a person literally called me 4 times in a row. I had to answer it, apparently. The next couple weeks I'll be sharing some really, because I chose seasons where most people don't. I feel like a lot of people feel like, oh, things aren't going to go next. You know, the enemy gets in our heads and he plants all crazy ideas and concepts, and he wants you to sit there and be in pity and, you know, sulking, worry, worshiping the problem. Next time you have something that arises, stress, pause, don't react, and just ask God, just lay it at his feet, just say, hey, I don't know how I'm going to do this, or, you know, will you just take this off my hands. Pray about this because I know that you already have it handled, and have faith. Some people call it blind faith, I call it unwavering faith, that no matter what is happening in your life, no matter what your circumstances show, no matter what your bank account shows, no matter what is happening, you have an unwavering faith that God already has it handled, and that ultimately, if it feels like someone that's holding you back, it's usually something that you just need to deal with, and so that you can move on to that next level, and so that he can continue to bless you. And he does when you have faith in his plan, when you kind of let go of your own. So that's my little spiel for the beginning of my episode. I'm not going to edit this because I think it's gold. I down the interstate recording episode. What I really wanted to say today was that I've had so many people comment on my videos. I guess not on my videos, but messaging me directly from my video and sharing how one aspect or another of one of my videos is helping them walk through a one that keeps coming up. And so I told them that I can do grief. I've experienced great loss in my life, and I knew that this would be a topic that I covered at some point. I know that it would be the 10th episode, but that it was grief and how it affected me. I don't even know where to start. I've had people message me directly and they, you know, hey, wow, this really helped. I just lost my dad a year ago and I'm feeling really lost, and this is exactly why I have this podcast. First, I felt kind of silly. I felt like a year and a half ago, I had so many things going on in my life, and it made, you know, obviously some of my own I'm taking account. Ultimately, some of these pivotal things that changed the life for other people's actions, and me ignoring red flags or just not walking away or loving myself. So that's why I talk a lot about those things. And I think you guys will get to know me if you want. The opportunity is here, and content should be about. But it's becoming more and more evident for me that I was put here to do this podcast so that I can help other people through certain challenges or certain kind of turning into my farm cruise. I don't know why I'm going almost 80 anyway. Grief. I'm going to just share a little bit about my story and how it affected me and what I did to allow myself to, because in certain parts of this grief, I'm my lowest, and I didn't have people in my life. I had friends that check in, but this pain was so profound. So it'll be 5 years, and honestly, this person is on Friday, March 14th, and he would have been 71. So I'll go in a little bit, and again, how it kind of affected me and what I did, reframe things. And in 2020, I lost August. It was August 13th, 2020, going on 5 years. Like I said, his birthday's on Friday, and yeah, it does trigger a lot of emotions. If you know, you know. I'm so happy for you. You can't relate to that, but my dad, a couple years, he wasn't in the greatest of health, but it was the effects of stress on his life. In a way, on the road, working 6 days family, focused on the long years and years of that advisor in his days. But he was a man, and he was my best friend in the whole block. He was the one person I could call to, and he'd answer if he was over the road. He was always there for me. He never validated. Everyone else around me kind of told me I was too much or I was too sensitive. My dad would listen to me, sound advice. It'd just be my anchor in things. And so his health started to decline. I had a license. I had just moved to Indiana, southern Indiana, very, very small town where he was, to close to Indianapolis with a former partner, and I was getting my cosmetology license. He had a heart attack, and then he actually had another one. He had back-to-back things that happened. He, by the grace of God, and God only, he was able to recover from those. But year, that was probably beginning of 2019. Long story short, I'm a details person. I'll tell a story and I'll tell you every single detail because I worry. And you need to be able to feel where I was coming from. He had one of his medicines ended up being discontinued by the FDA. And so he was off of it for a few days, and of course I really got in my car, left school, and went and got his meds filled. And he kind of declined, but he was kind of bouncing back. I didn't know in this moment how bad he was, but he ended up passing. Yep, this is the exit. Oh man, okay. He ended up passing, probably, and it's like I knew he was declining, but I didn't know the depth. He didn't want me to, and so I'm so blindsided. I felt so angry. I felt sadness. But I didn't, there would go on. I didn't have a ton of cheerleading growing up, but I did have my dad. He was always my best friend, right? So, it shook me to my core so deeply. I mean, I listened to the same songs, his same song. I made a playlist and I listened to the same songs every day to work. I had just left a commission salon. I got my license. He had those heart attacks when I was getting my license, and then by the time, it was probably a year and a half past. That was when commission salon, and yeah, so I just went to booth rent a chair and decided that I was going to start my own business. And he was the last person, one of the only people, but the last person, what you do know this. And so I was like, I can do these things. And so, yeah, it affected me deeply. I know that there were clients that I probably could have still had. I have clients that have been with me that long, but I know that I felt so, I mean, everything kind of triggered me. I just had deep sadness that, I mean, I tried, I was drinking a little bit more, and I was smoking weed a little bit more during that time, probably a bit. Yeah, there was probably, I mean, I lost like 30 pounds pretty quickly. Just shook me to my core. I just know that it feels like you're that person. This person to me was like, nobody cared more about my birthday than my dad. And today, daylight savings time, he would have texted me last night and said, hey, don't forget to turn your clocks forward. The night before, today or tomorrow, and midnight on my birthday. And just the example of a man should be making sacrifices for his family. I can go on and on and on, but there's nothing than going back, running into people. And he was a great guy. He taught me how to do. I really miss him. He go on to have a successful business. He never, you know, he won't get to see my baby. He won't get to future husband when, I shouldn't say if that ever happens, I should say when that happens. You can literally you're gonna eat for dinner and speakers and you end up crying. It's like people that were connected to someone I was dating that would just be like, well, you gotta get back at it, like you gotta put yourself out there. And you know, I needed a little, I was still working, but I just didn't want to be associated with the fire if it was nice outside, and just process things in a healthy way. Because what I did was just cry and cry. I was just crying and I was super sad, trying to process it. Anyway, trauma is stored in the body. If you have like a physical ailment of any kind, usually because there's some unprocessed trauma that you need to process. And so physical pain started to kind of manifest. Vasovagal, it was which nerve that runs down your spine that you regulate yourself and get into homeostasis. Like I have no medical history. I'm healthy. I'm 31. I'm healthy. Very lucky. I try to take care of myself the best of my ability, but I was passing out. I was literally passing out randomly. Couldn't even stand up. Sometimes my blood pressure would like skyrocket. So it was very scary. It was something that really got my attention, which is the body's alarm system supposed to do, instead of ignore. And got into therapy, and I started to just talk and process these things. I also felt guilt and shame. I felt like I wasn't there for him. And it's just, you go on this roller coaster of emotions. When you experience something that shakes you to your core, such as that. It was about learning how to let myself process those things and just work them out of my body. It was really messy. But it's almost 5 years later now, and I would be lying if those moments didn't still come up. You're in the grocery store, you just start sobbing. I looked for every sign that would show me that my dad was still around me. And a lot of my tattoos have meaning that correlate with my dad. So don't listen to anyone that steals that from you, because I feel like there's certain people that level and they can't even think about the afterlife. They're like, okay, well, you live and then you're done. It's like, I couldn't do that. I mean, it would almost make me kind of angry. Ending my raps on, so it would almost make me angry. Surround yourself with people who, not just when you're good, but also when you're in the pits of hell, in the depths of these emotions. Because healing isn't linear. It's not gonna just, I believe that I'm gonna be 16 years old and I'm still gonna cry about my dad sometimes, right? Like I miss him. I wish he could see the things that I've built. Wish that he could meet. I know he knows them, but since then, both of them, and you know, it's an emotional thing. It's 100% emotional. It's an emotional thing to go through, and like I said, it literally you feel it every day. You're not gonna get over it. Or you could do is to not let yourself cry or talk about things. Like if you try to be the tough girl or the tough guy, it will catch up to you. Because then I think I took like 10 days off. I go right back at it because I was like, I just started a business. He wouldn't want me to be doing the most. He would want me to be going back to work and not letting this affect me. But this is the thing, is your body will do what works for you. You can't really take anyone's advice. It might not even work for you, but I do think that it's beneficial for you to let yourself feel things as they come. Even if you're with the love of your life, an amazing dinner, and you have this wave come for you and you start to cry, and it's easier is having those people around you that just fully support that. Don't take it personal when someone does, when they've not experienced that, but do make a point to be there for you. And I would recommend like drinking and smoking weed to try to numb, or edibles, numb yourself. It wasn't really effective to numb myself then, but it was definitely just to kind of escape. So maybe on myself, maybe it was in the gym, my mental health, consistently going to the gym and prioritizing movement every day. Really good times. Journaling helped me. That was something my therapist helped me do. I used to go every 3 to 4 weeks, like pay out of pocket to go. I don't so much anymore. I think I've done that better, help a couple hairstylists with my clients. But there are 5 stages of grief, and it's like, I don't know, anger, sadness, denial, acceptance. I can't remember all of them in the order, but this was a couple months after I remember she was kind of nippy. I liked her because she could think outside the box a little bit. And me, I not feel good to hear this in that moment because it's so early on, but she said, you'll realize this when the time comes, because this is the thing, is all of these stages of grief, there's no time. Don't get me started on time. Time is illusion anyway. But there is no time set when on that date night, when you're in the middle of a beautiful moment, or when you're at a family function and you look over, and that's when it hits me. I used to love to put lights up for every holiday, and I'm getting back to that, but I still love to do those things, but it'll be holidays. I tend to kind of isolate myself these days when those come up, but it's in those functions we look over and you realize that when their birthday's coming up, yeah, I'm like fighting back tears right now because I'm sitting with it, right? Like I'm sitting with it, someone else, but the truth is I get so caught up what's next in life, and your own, it catches up with you. So really make it a point to times, especially if it's so wild to me how I can sit here and just almost feel like I'm coaching someone through it, but in all reality, it was so deep for me that I didn't want to be alive anymore for a while. Like there were many seasons where I don't know what I'm going to do without him. He's the only person I cared about. Was with that therapy and going to the gym, getting in those, letting myself feel things, dating it. It was when the 6th stage made sense. It's not going to make sense. It's going to make sense on your own. And so it means you could still be having all those other emotions, and you can still feel the purpose comes in when you're on, but this can be to the next chapter. I had to pick myself up off the ground, rebuke Satan and all his lies. Okay, okay, I've hit rock bottoms in my life, very lonely. The death of my dad shook me more than I can even try to put into words. But he's my purpose. I kept saying, and I try to live life as and that he is aspired me to be. I am me. I'm different because of Dad taught me those old-timey characters, that character attributes, like those things that you don't learn people, like you don't, he told me, like, your word was, he said guys were assholes. It's just a joke, but he actually did say that. He'd always stand at the front door and say, put your seatbelt on. And I have my seatbelt on. I think of my dad every time I put my seatbelt. So there are good things that come, they're the sad things, but it's just moving towards us and realizing that it's not going to be linear, and it's going to feel like a roller coaster at times, and to seek support from people that get it. Alone. The enemy wants you to feel alone, and then the depths of that, you're not alone ever. God's with you. God is with you. There were times that I cried out and I was mad at him. 100%. Forgive me, Lord. I know you have. But with that being said, this comes from realizing that he wanted you to be, and he would not want me to miss work or miss out on potential clients. He would not want me to drink or cope in an unhealthy way. He would not mind with God's plan. Extreme accountability. I let myself feel things and process things. I remember that he'd be like, you're a fucking Speedy. Why are you sitting here crying over a guy? Like, I need that. Like, where is that right now? Right? So I was 26 when I lost him. And every day is kind of a challenge. But I know he's with me. He sends me cardinals about every day in the weirdest moments where there shouldn't be a cardinal there. But I'm like, kind of want to share a little bit of my testimony, because you're not alone. You're never alone. Grief is going to make you feel like you're alone sometimes, or you might not fill that void. I know that there's not going to be anyone that can come in my life and fill that void entirely. Now, when I meet a great man, those same attributes as my father, he's loyal, he's committed to his family guy, he's a God, he's a provider, he's protector, like some of those things, right? Then a little bit, let my guard, just realize, that person's one of one and can't be replaced, and that's okay. Pray and talk to them in your own way, and journaling something that helps me, or just, having prayer time in my prayer closet. But like I said, I'm not saying that there's, not take away that person to hurt you. That person came to earth, impact on people, and served their purpose, and God decided that it was their time to go. And like I said, I'm 5 years later, and I'm the death of my father in detail for 2 years. I mean, I would have a fucking come apart. Forgive me, Lord, I'm trying not to swear, but I almost feel like people can really, right? So hopefully me sharing this helps someone. And don't let the enemy lie to you and let you feel like you're alone, or you're never gonna be able to move forward, because you will. But don't put a time limit on it either. Just know that you can turn to him and give your greatest fears and things that bring you sadness, burdens, you can just cast them onto him. Okay, so that's it for this week, guys. I also I'll link it below. I'm gonna edit this. This is just raw. This is me driving down the interstate, just yapping. So where we go home. Favorite YouTubers, her name's Latoya Oki, and words. I've been her coaching program too, and she's like, the spirit was trying to tell me that I need to get this message out. I'm in the gym parking lot, whatever it takes. And so that's what I'm doing. I was just like, I don't have time to sit and edit an episode today. I have a million things I gotta do before tomorrow, and it's almost 5 o'clock, but daylight savings time just messed me up. But anyway, the ebook, I'm gonna post it below, because a lot of the things that help me kind of get out of the funk and embracing those struggles, etc. That ebook is the blueprint. I'll discount it use it from this video in the comments, or just message me directly. I know a couple people have messaged me and I've discounted it and know me or something. But yeah, if you're looking to really fine tune some of habits and reframe some of your thoughts. If you are holding yourself back, that's a great opportunity. Discount lots of good things in there. So anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed week on an unedited baby, and I hope this resonates with someone that needs to hear it. Feel for prayer as well. So if that's my role in this, if that's where this is going, then I'm here for it. If you need any kind of support, especially if it's prayer, I'm your girl. Episode 10, I think. And anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed week this week. Make it a great week. Make it a prosperous week. And if you're struggling, use that energy, that version of yourself that is making that person proud. Okay. God bless you guys. Bye.